Are you looking for the best airflow PC cases? In this video we will look at some of the 6 best airflow PC cases on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Lian Li Lancool 205M. If you have issues with space and don't really know where to put your PC, then going with a micro ATX case is an excellent option. While this smaller form factor gives you a lot more placement options, it does somewhat hamper the sort of hardware you can fit inside. For example, you can only fit a micro ATX or mini ATX motherboard in here, so you need to take that into account. You also only get 375mm of GPU clearance, so some of the bigger GPUs will have a hard time here. On the other hand, you do have some good options, such as the ability to fit up to a 240mm radiator on either the top or front panel. You could potentially do both, but that's going to be difficult to fit in all the tubing, and you probably don't need 2 big ones anyway. The back panel can fit a 120mm fan but not a radiator, so if you plan to cool both your GPU and your CPU, you'll likely have to make some combination of top and front panel radiators of various sizes. As for cable management, there are spots behind the motherboard for them, which is good since the case is so small you're going to need somewhere to put the cables. The bottom panel where the PSU goes is also removable so that you can reach things a bit easier, although again, the smaller space does make it difficult to do some stuff. Number 2. Cooler Master NR200P Max. The Cooler Master NR200P Max is a bit different than your average case because it already comes with some things pre-installed, which also helps explain the higher price. For starters, it has its own 850W 80 Plus Gold PSU that also has its own custom-made cables. Cooler Master did this because the case is so small that you're not going to be able to fit a traditional PSU, so having something custom-made that's smaller and accounted for in the internal space makes a lot of sense. Another thing the NR200P Max has pre-installed is a 280mm radiator with 2 140mm fans, with all the tubing already pre-made for you. In this case, it's specifically an SFX CPU cooler, so if you were planning to cool a GPU with a radiator, you'd have to remove the pre-installed one and do your own. However, cooling the CPU will be nearly impossible since you can't put a radiator anywhere else, and the CPU sits below the GPU, so this isn't really the case for liquid cooling a GPU. Luckily, the airflow is still pretty good, even for a smaller case, and the GPU you can fit in there probably won't cause that many issues since there's only a 336mm length clearance and a 140mm height clearance. Number 3. Cooler Master MasterBox NR600. While it's not always easy to find a budget-friendly case that also has good airflow, the Cooler Master MasterBox NR600 does a relatively good job of it. It doesn't have a good cable management system, which is certainly a shame, but it does have a top and front opening, which gives you a lot more airflow. That said, these are mesh openings, and there has been some anecdotal evidence that mesh screens disrupt airflow to some extent, although they do also help decrease the amount of dust that is sucked up into the computer, so it's very much a matter of compromise. Either way, you have a lot of airflow openings to work with, and in terms of radiators, you can fit 2 of them, up to 280mm in the front panel, up to 240mm on the top panel, and a 120mm one in the back which is often used for the CPU but will be a tight fit. You can also fit 2 140mm fans or 3 120mm fans in the front panel and either 2 140mm or 2 120mm fans on the top panel. So, theoretically, you could have up to 6 fans if you include the 120mm fan in the back panel. Number 4. Corsair 7000D Airflow. The Corsair 7000D stands tall and features large triangular cutouts up front instead of the generic mesh pattern. Over the top, we have the same panel. Other than this and the tempered glass, the chassis has a mostly plain design that looks quite nice, and the chassis is built solid. With its innovative mesh panels, pre-installed fans, and large size, the chassis is a cooling powerhouse. You can install up to 2x 480mm radiators, front and top, and up to 12 fans. In my benchmarks, the chassis kept the components cool under stress while producing hardly any noise. Thanks to its large size, The chassis is very easy to work with. It also includes three 140mm RGB fans and a PWM fan hub behind the motherboard. I like that it includes 4 USB 3.0 ports instead of the usual 2. Also, cable management was super easy with plenty of space and cutouts available. The Corsair 7000D provides a simple yet elegant aesthetic and provides superb airflow. It also provides plenty of room for components, 3 pre-installed fans, and 4 USB 3.0 ports on the front. All of these and more meant it was my top pick for the best overall full tower PC case category. Number 5. Thermaltake View 51 Snow. The Thermaltake View 51 is a large cube-style chassis with black and white options. It offers a sleek and spacious design, and what's immediately noticeable is its 2x 200mm fans up front, enclosed by a 4mm tempered glass window. I was also impressed by its sturdy build quality. Its 2x massive fans in the front and a 120mm one in the rear provides an already configured decent airflow configuration. Moreover, if we remove all the bottom mounts, there's space for 3x 120mm fans / 1x 360mm radiator. So, despite its relatively small size, it showed excellent thermal and noise performance outputs. This case is a whole package with the great looks, the regulation of airflow, and especially the price. However, there are a few things that could have been better, like hard drive support and limited radiator clearance with the vertical GPU mount. Regardless of these downsides and considering the price, I picked the Thermaltake View 51 Snow as the best white full tower PC case. First off, the chassis includes 3x fans and a vertical GPU mount, but no riser cable. Also, vertical GPU mounting will limit clearance for the bottom radiator installation, which disappointed me. Underneath the bottom is a slidable dust filter. There are 8 PCIe slots in the back which can be rotated sideways. Number 6. Darkbase Pro 901. The front of the Darkbase Pro 901 features a solid brushed aluminum panel, but one which can be replaced by the meshed top cover. On the side, we have a tempered and tinted glass panel. Its integrated RGB strip adds to its sleek look, and the chassis is incredibly sturdy in its build quality. With its default configuration, it focuses on quiet operation. But you can switch the top mesh cover with the front panel, which introduced somewhat more noise, but drastically improved temperatures too in my testing. There's provision for a 420mm radiator up front and 8x fans across the rest of the case. For me, the best feature was the interchangeable front and top sides, as it made significant differences in my testing. Its smartphone charging panel and touch-sensitive I/O panels are honorable mentions. Furthermore, the GPU, 495mm, and air cooler, 190mm, clearance is incredible. This case does not come cheap, but that can be easily disregarded since Be Quite managed to stay true to the modularity aspect. Moreover, the provided wireless charger, touch-controlled I/O panel, and the great design seals the deal. The addition of noise-damping material and the Be Quiet silent fans make the Darkbase Pro 901 not makes it extremely quiet but also earns it the Best Full-Size PC Case award from me.